Tall niggas in South Africa are few and hard to come by.
Is there a particular sort of career path that ladies look and say, okay, I want a dude that does that?
I haven't seen
Are
it.
the doctors in? Are the lawyers in? The bankers in?
Doctors have a very bad reputation because they've always they players.
Yeah.
They do the most.
They do the most. The doctors.
Damn. Okay.
Engineers. I feel like the engineers are still.
Nah, engineers have never been.
Engineers are
popping because
notorious for not being able to dress well.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
What other professions? Accountants are stingy and also can't dress well, and also there's a lot of stuff going on with accountants.
Who's hot market right now?
I think it's like lawyers are.
The entrepreneurs.
club
Is it
promoters?
entrepreneurs?
Nah, they chicks have kind of gotten smart with the entrepreneurs that they broke as well.
The DJs.
DJs are always there.
Okay.
It's one of those things. It's like actors. And
I think it's the photographers now.
Nah, I think bankers are probably up there.
no, from a chick perspective, like preference.
Content producers.
Content producers
And photographers. Club promoters. What about promoters?
Still?
No, I think it's
The
right
chicks
with
on the come up.
Yeah.
The chicks that want to be on the come up on the scene, on the taboo scene, they're wanting these club promoters.
Okay, speaking of that, it goes into the next sort of like conversation around which niggas need to be automated or not.
Which careers?
I mean, and that's not necessarily the question. The question is more on,
And for me, it's like there's the anything creative. You can't automate creativity. For me, so like the marketing.
Marketing,
Like,
you definitely can
That's
automate.
what Spotify and
That is
algorithms are
what
doing.
big data is for. If there's one thing that, like, the prevalence of using data to make decisions, it's gonna it's gonna take a lot of the guesswork from marketing.
Yes, in terms of targeting. In terms of, I'm talking about.
Are you talking about making an ad?
I'm talking about making an ad.
You're not gonna need to make an ad. You're just gonna have to have very good propositions, and the ad, fine, but
it's curated products that speak to you. If anything, it's pop-ups that speak to you.
Yeah.
The branding message is gonna be refined by your insights.
Okay.
To such a point where you don't need guys to figure out who your market is and how to communicate to them. You're gonna know this, and you can automate it.
So then, would you say that who's at risk? Is it all the ad companies, because we no longer need to
ad companies
outsource
are
this?
already at risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, like a while back, I was reading this article, like about how Facebook is. Like Google and Facebook are getting ad agencies kind of like the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of marketing money now, it used to be. So if you watch the series Mad Men, typically your
those are big budgets, right?
Your acquisition budget, right? Your customer acquisition budget, which is your marketing budget, it would go to those guys. But now, more and more, it's going to your digital marketing platforms, which are your Facebook and your Google. And those guys use, like I said, big data, and they're probably going to use things like artificial intelligence going forward.
Yeah.
So
that's
the creativity part of it, the Don Draper trying to figure out your consumer from a creative perspective, that's gonna go away.
And it also, it's not centralized anymore, whereby you got guys coming in, for example, Unilever, come in and say, you know what, we're gonna go to this particular ad agency. I'm not gonna name any of the guys, but they go into influencers. Because they themselves have a
do you think
market out there.
Do you think the influencer thing is just is it a fad? Is it a trend? Do you think it's got longevity? Do you think it's
a lot
a
of people
sustainable way to market?
A lot of people have kind of rubbished it, right, and said, influencers, because like influencers are self-made people.
Yeah,
they don't have a platform. They don't have traditional marketing degrees. They in some way they're disruptors.
Yeah,
because and it kind of goes to what I was saying about where is ad spend going? Where is marketing spend going?
Exactly.
People have traditionally felt that you need to have a business degree, you need to be of Ogilvy, you need to have this, the part of the system, right? Which has been a barrier to a lot of people. But now what has been traditionally happening, what's been happening now is that the money is going to influencers. Who have no marketing experience, but they do have the traffic that's needed, a very specific traffic. And in terms of communication, the brand message, they could probably do it better by just even embodying it, which is why it's going there. So they were being rubbished, which is influencers, and you saw these articles from influencer hype. But I think it's pretty
sustainable. You think
it's sustainable, and I think it's very innovative as well.
And at this time, like you're seeing a breakdown, especially in the market and everywhere. It's a breakdown of an intermediary. If you're an intermediary,
if your core business is being an intermediary,
the whole business model needs to change. Because ultimately, guys are going direct
to market now, because now everyone has access to basically everything, right? With the internet and smartphones, you don't need someone who's gonna connect you to a company. That company can just connect straight to you via your cell phone. The cell phone has actually become, I would say, the intermediary.
Yeah, true.
So like banking and all these, you've heard of like all these banks closing down all these branches.
Yeah.
But
that's more. I think that's more like
that's
the
more overhead
digitization.
Costing. Is there a difference between digitization and automation?
Yeah.
Well, what is the main difference?
So automation is kind of within digitization.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, what we want to talk about, like digital transformation, which is you have access, changing. You have a lot of things happening. So you have human behavior changing. People are using their cell phones more for a lot of things. The cell phones can perform a lot of things. You have technology available for you to be able to do certain things faster. And the fact that you have this prevalence of cell phones and all this digital technology that people have access to, it means that now you can just reach them without having like a without having like a branch or something. So it's basically just like a lot of human behavior trends and the technology we have. It makes certain things just, there's better and more efficient ways to do them without a branch. Like, do you even want to go to a branch?
No, I haven't been to a branch in like 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can apply for an account online. It's great customer experience for you to to enable your customers to not go to a branch.
So for example, like Uber, as we know, is one of
the big disruptors,
big disruptors and biggest tech companies, and their whole thing is that they're actually not. Their competitor is not other forms of transportation. It's actually the purchase of vehicles. So it's basically ownership of vehicles is what they're trying to eradicate. And for me, it's like, okay, I see that, but it's also like, I actually enjoy driving a car. So for me, I think there's also that factor. Do you think because of what people potentially want, do you think that could counteract work?
It goes back to, for me, it's always two things. It's efficiency and cost saving. And I think in any sort of, when you're advocating for any model of, whether it be transportation, banking, or just general retail from that perspective, you're always thinking about cost saving and efficiency. How fast can I get something, and how easy is it for me to pay for something? And also from the company side is less overheads for them, right? I don't need to own these things and be tied down to an asset which depreciates at a certain value every year. And now say
which actually kind of speaks to what he's saying with Uber.
Exactly.
Ownership.
And when it comes to Uber, it's a case of literally driving your own car, and this is what's going to happen in the future. I mean, meeting someone face to face as a financial planner will now be sort of like a novelty that you need to pay for.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing. It's not a must. It's like, you know, it's something that, okay, I really want this face to face conversation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay a little bit of a premium for it.
Yeah.
And that's what having a car is starting to be like now. I want the enjoyment of driving a car.
So I'm gonna have to.
But to that, right? Do you still foresee that people are gonna actually? I'm talking about the mass of people, right? We're not talking about any niche kind of sport petrol heads that want to drive cars. That if you can get to where you want to go, when you want to do it in a reasonable amount, if you can have access to transportation, similar to how you would if you have a car, without having a car, would you still want to own a car?
Not really.
And I say this because I remember there was a time where, and this is about like also kind of about human behavior. There was a time where people were like, they don't want automatic.
That was the stupid because they want to feel themselves changing.
It wasn't stupid back then. It was a genuine. It was a genuine want. Like I want to feel like I'm driving the car.
Okay.
Now you will not find anyone who wants to drive.
You have to. Excuse me. Now you actually, you go into a dealership at BMW, and they say we won't have an automatic. You're gonna have to pay an extra to get it in manual.
Wow.
That shit
kind of thing. And I've been using Uber for probably how long now?
Like a year?
No, it hasn't. Like 9 to 10 months, right?
Yeah.
Close to a year. And it's
convenient for you.
It's convenient. Life kind of goes on.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. But obviously, the Uber model is not perfect enough yet to kind of replace a car.
It also speaks to just the current. I mean, in South Africa where we live, do we have a transportation system which is advanced, which helps us? Is our infrastructure at that level?
Yeah.
And
I don't think it is.
It's not, to be honest.
But I think it probably is heading towards that.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the other one? Spotify.
In this day and age, and you say iTunes. Are you in this day and age? That seems like 2012.
And Spotify and Deezer and all these.
Deezer? What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
Google Play.
But a question came to mind is like, is the full length album dead? Like, do we need a full length album?
Yes, we do.
Why do we need a full length album?
For the same way that an artist needs the whole canvas.
Okay.
Right? Like because that's what albums are, right? It's artistic expression. That's why you have connections to certain albums, like So Far Gone by Drake.
Yeah.
What's Solange's album? The one with the hair thing. A Seat at the Table. Right? That album doesn't work as just throwaway songs. It works. Those songs work together as an album.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why you need an album.
Yeah.
It's a musical journey.
Yeah.
If anything, for me also, I mean, taking it back to a genre which we listen to a lot is hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, we knock Drake for and this we will put him down a peg in terms of top 5 and top 10s, just because he doesn't have he has like one classic album, while else Kendrick has got like a 3, right? So it's also a scale for us.
Actually, sorry, that whole Kendrick has 3 album classics is shit. I've listened to Pimp a Butterfly the other day.
Okay, bro.
But it's fine. That's another conversation. That's another topic.
But here's my thing, right? Is as a new artist, I'm less likely to listen to your album, like if it has 22 tracks on it. So for me, it's like but that's a different conversation from scrap an album together, right? Yeah.
It's album length that you're talking about now.
What artists have been starting to do now is that they switch the alternate between mixtape and album. And if you're Drake, of course, you're hyped.
No, but actually no, Babs. I'll tend to disagree with you.
You know why?
No. The mixtape is dead. In the streaming era.
What dudes do. Yeah. Dudes say, okay, cool. It's not necessarily a mixtape, but like it's not really an album.
Like an EP.
What I do is that I'm gonna call it an EP. Sorry, those are the words I was looking for. Because they put out a feeler out there in the market and say, okay, I'm gonna drop this joint as a lead single, and then it doesn't connect. They're like, well, I have this catalog and library, and it won't be relevant in the next 5 years, just because now back then you could leave stuff in the fridge for a long time.
Yeah.
But now you can't. So dudes say, screw it, I'm going EP. on this one, because I don't want you to rate me according to album standards.
Which kind of artist would that be?
I mean, you got your Lil Uzis, which
No one is looking for a Lil Uzi album.
Exactly, right.
Lil
but
Uzi,
you got Wale, right?
Wale,
he's
an album artist. I would want
right
it.
Now, last 2 years, EPs.
So Levi, you actually just call him like an album artist. So do you think there's two different branches of
artists?
That now? So it's like album artists and single artists.
And listen, music has become so profitable for so many that it has attracted all kinds of people, right? There's ones that are true artists, people who have like a way that they see the world that they need to express with other people, right? As a traditional artist is. And then there's people who latch on trends to make money from music. For instance, Cardi B, I don't think Cardi B is an artist, right? She does her thing exceptionally well. She has a sound that she has, and she has a formula that she has that works out. But I don't think that you would call someone like Cardi B artistic. And that is not taking away from the music and how you enjoy it. But then you have someone like let's say, like someone that everyone agrees with, like Kendrick Lamar, right? That guy has artistic expression, right? He needs an album to say something with that album. All of his albums have actually been concept albums.
It's conceptual.
And you need someone like that to drop albums. Whereas someone like Cardi B, even though Cardi B's album was great, but it's not. It's a great collection of music. But in terms of like the thread
of,
that would link an album and make it like a whole canvas that's painted, there's nothing there.
I think we need an album.
We do need an album from certain artists.
We need an album from certain artists, right? And that's why it won't ever die. I think. And that also goes down in history as this is a catalog that I've put out there. And this was the sort of underlying concept out there.
And this was the feel at the time. This is where I was at the time, and it kind of it's like it's art, bro. The album I viewed as art.
So for me, I'm also thinking now. There's artists, like very prominent artists. Like I can't even remember their last album, but like I'll remember like their last single.
The last single.
So for example, KO from South Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of a Republic album.
Was that his last album?
That was
no, I think he dropped one last year.
No, he dropped one last year.
And then now he's got this hit track, Super Duper. And man, has he been riding that track? Like, dude, like every performance, like the clip that I see, it's like Super Duper, and he's like really pushing the single. And I think,
well, you have to push a single.
Yeah, no, 100%, you have to push. But I think that
is he overdoing it?
Yeah.
Because might be.
In contrast to this kind of Republic joint, the one back then, when he came out as a solo artist, he wrote a single for like not long, and then came another joint, and then came the album. So on this one, he's been writing it like
So he's been writing one single, which we are hoping it leads to something, whether it's an album or another single.
I mean.
But from a consumer
perspective,
perspective, what are you looking for from KO? Are you looking for a nice song, or are you looking for an album?
I'm looking for
J. Cole, for instance.
Do you know what the model he's taking? He's taking, especially in the South African context,
AKA.
He's taking AKA's concept of writing a single for the longest time and then still putting it in Touch My Blood
in an album. Do you guys think?
I think there's very few artists that can do both. Like
can do what?
Be the singles artist and then be an album. Because if you're pushing singles for too long and you're writing them too long, by the time it gets to the album, it's just like AKA.
Well, traditionally singles have always been lead ups to albums.
Like
in the traditional music business, is that traditionally what you had actually was album artists in music. That's the only thing you had. But to make the album more palatable to the masses, you needed a single.
True.
Right? And then that single would lead into the album. So it was a whole marketing exercise. But the market now, it seems it has actually turned into where the single is actually where the career is at. And actually, it kind of speaks to my point where I say that the music industry has been so profitable that it actually brings people that don't necessarily have good album material, but they can make good singles. Like someone like Designer, for instance.
Yeah.
Like Designer.
Who I haven't heard from in like how long?
Yeah, we haven't. Kanye took his song, signed him, and then
put it out.
But like those kind of artists, they can just live off having hit songs. They don't need an album.
Yeah.
Like what's a Designer album gonna?
But to I kind of understand why AKA does that with the singles. It's because of how people consume music.
Yeah.
It's not them that's the it's not him that's the issue. It's how people consume music. People are not gonna sit through a full length album, so he'll rather like release half of his album as singles, giving everybody an opportunity.
People will. I disagree with that. People will consume a good full length album from the people that they expect.
Can I ask you this? Can I ask you this? Do you think AKA is a good artist?
Yes, he's a good artist.
He's dropped good music.
Are you think a good music maker or a good artist?
A good music maker.
He makes good music.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for any.
Why are you looking for an album from AKA?
Not necessarily.
Why?
Why not?
AKA has released good albums, but AKA could release his whole album as singles to me, and it wouldn't matter. There's no common thread. There's no common thread. That's what I'm saying. Like with packaging, your music as an album, it usually has like a uniform thing that's tying it all together, right? A theme. So if you look at Drake's his Scorpion.
Yeah.
The first album, there is actually a common thread tying that whole thing together, which is that whole Kanye West thing. That was what kept that thing together. The second one was the other Drake insecurity stuff going on.
Yeah.
But for someone like AKA, I mean, what would you say Touch My Blood was about thematically?
It's a moment.
What is the moment?
The moment is... What is the
It's a collection of good songs.
It's a collection of good songs.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a great, like, sort of...
But you can't also say that if you haven't listened
because
to it.
You know why?
I've listened to the AK album.
You know why?
I love the AK album.
Okay.
It's a great album. It's a great collection of songs. But it's also a moment of like, okay, cool. Like, what happened with Fifth and you bossing up now? So it's him going into that fatherly role at the same time, but still being in that sort of club mentality at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's why he can come up with a great song, like, you know, I think he wants to create like timeless music and you can feel it and you can hear it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, AKA's music is to some degree timeless.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying AKA is not he actually is an album artist. His albums have...
I think even Tutor has a little bit of cusp on your verses. I know we don't listen, we don't pay the homie much mind. But even that was a little bit more conceptual from a family standpoint of view. Like
I haven't listened to
that.
I think... Okay, no, it's fine.
Hey, take shots at the homie.
No, I'm not taking shots. I was just saying, Casper to me is a much better Kwaito artist than he probably is.
You've said many times.
And
true.
But now I'd like to also get into the length of the album. Like,
true.
So was it last year we had? So an album is anything that's over 25 minutes and 6 songs, right? Last year we had Kanye West doing the 7 song album.
I love
Drake,
that.
And Drake did the 22 song.
But
and
those
for
were
me,
both they both worked, right?
They both worked. So, but for you now as a consumer, what is your preferred album length?
I prefer about 13 from an artist I like. Because Lupe dropped
minimum one interlude.
Lupe dropped like a 19-song album last year as well. But it was a freaking good album.
What, Drogas?
Drogas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Drogas Waves.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was... I wouldn't say that like I'm looking for 22 songs albums, but that one was consistently good from the first song to the last. You're probably not skipping anything.
Yeah.
It was a good album. So I think the key takeaway from there is that if the musician has the talent to pull off a 22 song album, then I want it from them.
For me, it's the risk you run of having a really long album is being redundant. You
Ask
have
again.
2 tracks that sound the same, and you're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Sort of. So I'd also go. I'd say about 11 tracks.
7 songs to me. That Kanye
That formula
found
was
something.
perfect. I go 13 and 2 interludes.
So 11 songs basically.
Yeah,
I hate interludes because interludes always
interlude.
the fuck.
I think the perfect one.
Frank
is
Ocean's. I forgot that. Do-do-dum. Interludes are always the really fire fucking song, and then it's only 30 seconds, and you're like,
it's super short. I was about to say that Frank Ocean blasphemy here will not be tolerated, but I understand what you say.
No. This is coming from a place of appreciation. But he had that other interlude. I forgot, but it was like really short, and I felt like that could have been a dum. Yeah, I forgot.
On Channel Orange, okay.
What?
I mean,
yeah.
I really love, especially from Kendrick, I love the intro and interludes because they just like
rapper albums, hip hop albums. If the intro is the most important song, it must not have a hook. You are just rapping there.
Homies are super.
No, I think you can have a hook.
Nah, listen.
Guys are super cool with intro sometimes back in the day, and especially who's this kid? Drake's sort of fellow Canadian who he beefed with.
Oh, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez had this album which was like intro, and it was like acting out a particular thing in the background.
Skit. Yeah, those skits.
Yeah, no, like just every nigga is a star.
That was a dope. That was dope.
Amazing.
You know what? You know what?
And that goes. It really does a good job of tying the album together, reminding you still listen to an album. Yeah.
You know what I miss from albums and hip hop songs is the talking. You know how at the end of the track, be like, 50 Cent, shout out my homie.
Torture motherfucker.
Yeah, we're gonna come to your hood and shoot you up and blah, 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 blah. I miss that.
I miss the Dipset ones. The Dipset ones are always nice because you like, it was like that New York vibe.
Yeah.
The bravado in it. But then it gets really corny sometimes. It's like, you know, someone gets shot, boom, boom, boom. Oh my god.
Like 50's one, Many Men.
But that one's fly.
Because that one, it takes you into movie mode.
Yeah, that one takes you.
Right? Okay, because it explains what's happening in the song, and then he goes into Many Men, Wish Death on Me.
Greatest 50 songs.
So basically,
but that's all in the package of artistry, right?
Yeah.
Looking beyond the music, but conveying the story that you want to tell.
So consensus basically is albums are here to stay for the right artists.
I'm not looking for an album from Uzi. I'm not sure.
From the right artist, you want an album.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying. From the right artist, you want the album.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, Future can keep his albums.
Okay.
Which come out like EPs every time.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, album.
Yeah. So there's something you wanted to do? You wanted to play a little game?
Yeah, I wanted to play a nice
game.
little game. I think also just great to find out from the Oaks exactly, you know, where they're at with
from the
certain
chaps.
topics. Yeah, I mean, just a nice American sport which is useless, baseball, but it's based on the concept. Basically, I'm gonna give you guys a topic. You guys let me know if home run or it's a miss.
So home run being good.
Yeah, home run being good. Yeah.
And a miss being
bad.
Bad. Nah, it's and let's just get your take on it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one I have is the whole NFL deal.
Miss. No, it's a miss for me. It stinks. The whole thing looks nasty.
The video that came out.
No. I'm just thinking that whole, leave that, right? The whole social justice programs. We're at a point now where we are monetizing social justice, right?
Exactly.
It's a business now. It's a venture. People getting shot, police brutality, racism. It needs a business venture to fix with the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL, which gets money from the military to promote patriotism.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of the
So
owners as well.
it's what it's like what where are we?
Yeah.
We're at a point now where social justice like needs a business deal from Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Jay-Z has good intentions, right? Because Jay-Z has always had good intentions throughout his music. I can't say the same for the NFL. They've been having a very hard time in terms of their publicity and their complicity in some of the ills that are going on in America with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, and it's been hurting their business.
Yeah.
Now they have Hove to kind of launder their business.
Also, it's a miss for me for how he conducted the deal. Also giving
Secrecy.
secrecy
around it.
Secrecy around it. Also telling JD, Jermaine Dupri, like, yo, fam.
Yeah, no, JD should not. I'm
don't
not mad at that. JD should not.
But I mean, JD might have not been the guy.
Yeah, but still.
But
fuck
also
JD.
for Jay-Z, like telling yo.
Nah, that's just Hove. That's just no more Hove. That's just no more Hove. I'm not mad at that.
That's a
Yo,
very
that is
sneaky
nah.
move.
That's no more Hove. I'm actually I like that part of it.
You like that part of it.
I like Hove. Okay, that's no more Hove. I'm not. Yeah.
For me, it's a mess as well, and in just given the fact that, and the problem is also with this is that, you know, it's as much as, you know, Cap did take a knee, there's a bigger thing at hand here, and now we're almost being used as a pawn by a league which is owned by all white owners.
Yeah.
It's not black owned at all.
Yeah.
I heard
Also,
Jay-Z is
line
actually
with Trump.
yeah. I heard Jay-Z is actually going to become a part owner of.
So exactly, but like, what did it have to take for a black guy to become a part owner in a full team?
And it boils back to that a seat at the table fucking thing for black people. It's always been
It's a
that we
compromise.
need a seat at the table, the same table that is presumably responsible for our oppression. At which point do we say fuck the table?
When did we start having woke
Fuck
hope?
that table and
Yeah.
let's have our own table.
The question is, when did we start having woke hope?
Yeah. Guys, I mean, I don't think we need to go into
Hove
deep
is
dives
Hove has
with these
always
topics.
been
He has
been
spoken
weak.
about it in Black Album, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, cool. Now, like, the wave is.
Get in the
woke.
deep dive, buddy. We're doing
No,
the deep
Jens,
dive.
he needs to go.
Yo,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, next topic, right?
Okay.
New Miss Essay. How you guys feeling?
Hit.
she's a hit. She's
fire.
from
It's a
the
home
Eastern
run.
Cape,
Yeah,
from Ituichua. You know, how could you hate on that?
Yeah, no, she's
How?
She's
The
beautiful.
look is
I
wow.
challenge you.
Yeah.
The look is
It's a
a
refreshing
new
look.
one,
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
one, no weaves,
Yeah.
no long hair, just short hair.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
DMX challenge.
I missed that. What is the DMX
Everyone
challenge?
has video editing skills. I'm not mad at it. It's the girls with the different wigs
Ugh.
to different to
The
the
DMX at the back going.
that DMX and
"T-shirt,
Cisco
Lord."
song.
It's a miss.
I always hate these challenges. To be
No,
honest,
these
they're
challenges,
usually
I'm
all
tired,
corny.
I'm tired of these challenges.
I'm gonna go home run just to
Yeah.
promote diversity in hairstyles.
Yeah.
And the last one,
What's your guys' favorite hairstyles? Just to off
For girls,
Yeah.
jeez,
All of
mine is
them.
very generic.
all of them, as long as they're not. I like braids. I like fros. I like wigs. I like. Just as long, whatever looks
If
good
you
on
look
you.
good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Last sport one, Anthony Joshua.
Miss.
The rematch.
Nah, not the rematch.
What
Well,
about
the
Anthony
rematch
Joshua?
is always gonna happen. No, he said he made a lot of comments, right? Well, he's coming across as very arrogant now since he lost, and he's been losing weight to try and be leaner. So I guess he could be faster and throw more combinations. But he said he said that Lennox Lewis is a clown because Lennox Lewis
Mad disrespect.
was very kind of critical maybe about his whole fighting style and his camp and his coach, whether the coach was the right one for him.
I'm gonna
Okay.
jump out and say home run for me. I like this new mode of Anthony Joshua without this whole polite,
You know what?
pretentious bullshit.
I say fuck that shit because Tyson Fury a long time ago said, "Fuck you, nigga. This whole polite shit that you're doing, likable, it's fucking fake because Eddie Hearn said you should do it. You are not like that." And he was insisting that he was. And Joshua has always been very confusing with this
Yeah.
blend of polite and aggressive.
Yeah.
And so no, fuck Anthony Joshua. But I'm looking forward to the rematch.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to the rematch.
Did you watch the first?
I watched the first one. I actually hope he wins. It will be because he's a great fighter.
Why? Why you say he's a great fighter?
Leave it. I'm not going into technicalities of his fighting style and fucking